everybody, and welcome back to the show. We are now officially Late Night Laughs with the Lawsons. It's kind of weird to say for the first time, but we are kicking off season 2 with a bang with the one and only. Y'all may know him and may have seen him from American Idol season 22. Some of you may know him from a small town in Kentucky or a small town in Tennessee, but I'm sure most of you know him by the singing barber, Mr. Noah Peters.
What's up, man? How are you?
Man. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. This is
Actually,
awesome.
I should say thanks for letting me bring the show here.
This is sweet, dude.
Yeah.
I've been excited ever since you reached out.
So where are we at? Explain to me. I mean, I know we're in an office, but this building is iconic.
Yeah, for sure. This is Curb Word Entertainment.
Curb Word.
It's a record label on Music Row.
Cool.
And this is where I write at. And it's a whole lot of fun. There's been all kinds of talent through here.
Yeah.
People that you love, people that you hate.
Do you ever like walk past somebody that you like idolize? Has that ever happened to you in here?
Oh, absolutely. I've learned the art of acting like I don't care.
Yeah.
I walk by them knowing I'm freaking out.
You're like,
I'm like, what's up, man? Trying to bump shoulders with them. But no, it's awesome. Happens
that's
all
cool.
the time.
Yeah. Music is kind of like your thing, right?
My whole world, pretty much.
Yeah. At what age did you realize like you enjoyed music? You know, was it a young kid? Was it till you got older? But I know you sing and write, but when did you fall in love with the fact of music itself?
Yeah, for sure. When I was a kid, I would have a fake TV show outside.
Oh, nice.
And so all the time I was pretending like I was these artists and I was on big stages and it was just in my backyard. But I have been in love with the idea of music my whole life. I've been singing my whole life.
That's funny you say that because me and my sister, we used to do the same thing. We used to like have a weather channel.
Right.
You know, and I had like this little mixer thing. Like you could either set it to the station on your stereo.
Right.
Or you could like, there was no line in cable. It was all like based off of like radio frequencies, but you could set the dial or whatever to come through an actual radio.
Yeah.
And so we would like stand outside and interview our grandparents like, hey, what do you think today's the weather is? You know, that was so fun. But I think that's when I fell in love with like entertainment, I feel like. When did you start picking up your first instrument?
So I tell people I can play a little of everything, but I'm not great at anything. My whole life I've had to sing lead. And so my entire family, from the male side aspect of it, they all can play instruments like crazy. So I've always had an accompanist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad we're on the same level here because on the way, did you see my story I shared with you?
Loved it.
I don't even know what I said, but my grammar's not the greatest, and y'all already know that, and that's why I love you. You know, I think that's all we fit.
I was born in Corbin, Kentucky. I ain't got grammar for nothing.
Yeah, that's right. So you're from Kentucky. Do you ever miss it?
All the time. Yeah. Not only is it the state for talent, I mean, almost half the people in country music are from Kentucky.
That's wild.
But I just love the community that I grew up in. All my biological family lives there. So
how was like the school life for you in a small town? Like,
I never had a great amount of stability
Yeah.
because my dad was a pastor.
Oh.
So I've lived everywhere. And growing up in Kentucky, it's kind of everybody around there has just been friends with the same friends they had in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So I've made friends everywhere, but I still miss some of my Kentucky people.
Would you consider yourself one of the cool kids back in the day?
No. I would consider myself one of the weird kids. When I was a kid, my brain just worked different. I was always thinking about, I had a really big imagination.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get cool until high school. I was always that chubby kid that could sing.
I always tell the story of, so me and my buddy, we had a battle of the bands for like a Renaissance rally. It was near like cats testing time. And we...
cats testing,
yeah,
I've done
dude.
that.
Oh my
I've done
God.
that stuff.
The worst time of year while you're in school.
You're stressed out. And there's so many rumors too when you're a kid. You're like, does it count? Will I fail? Then I moved to Tennessee and I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And now it was called TCAP in Tennessee.
Oh, gotcha.
They want you to fail.
Yeah.
I didn't learn nothing in school.
I found out later on it's not even for you, it's for the school.
For the teachers
to
of the
make
school.
them, I guess, hey, we're teaching somebody something.
Better curriculum.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have learned something in school. I wish I'd have paid attention.
I wish I would have did better for you, and one of my teachers listening. But so we were doing this Renaissance rally, and we had to try out Battle of Bands. We played like all the small things from Blink-182, okay? And where was I going? What was you saying? Oh, becoming cool. So
yeah.
my senior year, no one knew I played music. No one knew I sang or anything like that.
Right.
And me and my buddy Jordan, I was cool amongst the weird people.
Right.
You know, like and he was cool amongst his weird people, but we were never cool amongst the cool kids.
Right. Yeah, I never fit in with them.
I was like the cool one of my group.
Right.
But my group was not cool.
I would try to navigate over to the cool kids, usually like the athletes and things.
Yeah.
There was not enough brain activity for me to hang out with them.
Oh, gotcha.
I was always like, man, I don't
You just
want to
felt
sit
awkward.
around. Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to be stimulated.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Well, I didn't become cool until my senior year, towards the last couple days of school, and we got
Right.
to play the Renaissance Rally. And then they're like, "Oh, Daniel, you can sing and play." I'm like, don't talk to me now. It's been 4
Right,
years,
right.
you know. And we thought we were so cool. We ended up skipping school the rest of the day.
I said that stuff all the time. Don't try to get my number now, Bethany.
I know. It's
I was in love with you when I was 300 pounds and 4'7". Now that I'm 6 foot and 100 pounds, you
Yeah.
want to be with me.
I wish I was a little bit taller, personally.
Me too. So this is crazy. I'm not a short man.
Yeah.
I'm like 6 foot, but my whole family's giants.
Really?
So I've always been made fun
even
of for being
taller.
smaller. But what I say is I don't look like an ogre. I'm good looking.
You are good looking, and I might add, he's got some beautiful hair.
You got some beautiful hair, dude.
I want you to
Your hair looks like I cut it.
Okay, that's what I want. A scale of 1 to 10. My barber would be proud right now. Hearing it
it's
from a
10.
barber.
It's a 10. And here's what's crazy about Kentucky. I'm so glad that you have a good fade.
Yeah.
Because a lot of barbers are getting old. Like
That is true.
There's not a ton of barbers coming
Yeah.
into these smaller towns. So, dude,
So
he did good.
we have a barbershop in our town called the Bearded Eagle. You look it up on Google.
The Bearded Eagle.
The Bearded Eagle. And the vibe is so cool. It's very chill, like a cigar lounge, tattoo shop
Let's go.
vibe. You know, the guys in there got the tattoos
Yeah.
and the short, you know, the kids are in now, like the short
Right.
shorts.
So they're up to date on all the
They're
good
up to date.
haircuts.
And the vibe is super cool.
Heck yeah. Come on in. What's up, Phillip? Phillip Lammonds,
What up,
Daniel
Phil?
Lawson.
Are you ready to get your hair
This is
cut
one
or
of the
what?
greatest
Yeah,
songwriters in the
I'm
world.
gonna take a little bit off, maybe off the top. I don't know what you want to do.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. Heck yeah.
Keep wearing it. 'Cause you're going to be a highlight of this podcast.
Yeah.
Am I in it?
Yeah, you're live.
Oh, hey.
They're only going to be able to see your, your downside.
I love it. That's awesome.
Good to see you.
Speaking of hair, he had some nice
Oh,
hair.
he's the man.
Is he really?
Phillip
So what does he
Lammonds is
do?
the man. He's a writer here.
Oh, nice.
But he is you've heard people say he's a jack of all trades. Phillip Lammonds does the it's like a hawk, like a raven. What is it called?
yeah,
When
where
they
he
get
like blows a
hunts with
whistle.
them.
Oh,
Yeah,
he hunts with them.
He hunts with birds on his arm.
That
It's
is
called
badass.
something. Yeah,
A bird hunter.
yeah. But he hunts small game with a bird on his arm.
That is incredibly
It's called
awesome.
something.
I'll have to look it up.
No, he's the man. He's written
But,
some of the biggest songs.
So does he have the birds? Like he owns them?
Yeah,
Or do you
yeah.
rent them?
Yeah, he has them.
Could you imagine renting a bird
I'm scared of birds.
to go hunting? Yeah, I'll take that one back there.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm terrified of birds.
Yeah.
Dude. That's something many people
Really?
don't know. Like if you're close to me, you know it. When I was a kid, I wanted chickens, deathly bad. I wanted chickens. Well, we got chickens, and then I found out I was terrified of chickens. So we had a bus route that I got on the bus every day, and them damn chickens would chase me from my porch to my bus every day.
No
I was terrified of
kidding.
them. I was faster than them as a
Yeah.
kid.
Did they ever get you?
Oh, all the time.
That's why you're terrified.
But ever since then, I've been terrified of birds.
That's so funny. My son, so a fun fact about Daniel is I had like 80 something birds at one time.
Oh my gosh.
Chickens, guineas,
Yeah, no, thank you.
turkeys. I'm talking turkeys that were up to my waist. I mean,
Right.
those, when you got a bird walking up to you that big, it's a
Oh,
little
yeah,
scary.
for sure.
And they would be on my car in the morning when I'm trying to leave to go to work. I'm like, hey, get down, you know?
Yeah.
And then, so long story short, we had this rooster named Hey Hey, like the rooster off of Moana.
Yeah.
And he was like a crossbreed between a Baney and a normal size rooster. He was like a mini, but he wasn't a mini.
Yeah.
He's like a medium rooster. And he was real pretty, the blue, the green, and the red, and he had all those multicolors. Well, Hey Hey was chasing Eli one day. Eli had a bag of Cheerios, and I guess Hey Hey wanted some, and Eli's like, Daddy, the rooster's after him. I'm like, just keep ignoring him. And he's like, I am. And while he's saying I am, the rooster's just flogging him like crazy. And he's running, got the Cheerios bouncing all over the yard. It was one of the funniest things.
Telling him to win it. Win it, son.
Yeah.
You got this.
Stay in there.
You got to face him.
And I don't know if that's true. Maybe I was just getting some amusement out of the little rooster hitting on my boy. Like, toughen up, buddy.
Yeah.
Man.
You ain't country unless you've been chased by a chicken.
Yeah, I've been chased by a chicken and a pig.
Ugh. A pig?
Yeah, we had a couple of pigs in the small town where I had these chickens. One was named Arlie. We had a Pumbaa, and then we named one Humper, which
I figured.
Yeah,
that's why.
And he was a baby. He was a baby.
That's what they called me back in the day.
Was that your nickname in
Humper.
school? I love it. That's awesome. Well, but yeah, the pigs. I tried to catch Humper or Humpty or whatever we called him, and he was trying to get me, if you catch my drift, and it was a weird experience for old Daniel. But
yeah.
So let's get back on music. We had who was that guy's name again?
Phillip Lammonds.
Phillip Lammonds, big shot here.
Oh yeah, he's the man.
So who all has he wrote for?
Oh my gosh, Phillip's wrote for Lee Bryce. He's had a couple hits with a lot of older country singers. Yeah. And he's the most humble man in the world.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
He's very chill.
He took me under his wing too when I first got here. And he's awesome.
How does that make you feel coming in? Like, how old are you?
24.
24 years old, coming in hot and fast, you know. Yeah. How does it make you feel to have someone like him, as old as he is, to kind of take you under your wing?
Man, the narrative that I grew up with, I was never around Nashville.
Yeah.
We were too poor to make it here. But the narrative I grew up with from other music people was Nashville's cutthroat. You got to fight your way to the top. Man, when I showed up, that's the mindset I had. I had the mindset that Nashville was cutthroat. These people have just taken me in like I'm their kid.
That's awesome.
So when I got here, the sense of belonging was always in my mind. Like, I don't deserve to be here. I don't belong here. Yeah. And people like Phillip Lammonds and people like Michael Farron, they over and over, they told me, man, you belong here. This is where where you're supposed to be. So it helped a lot. That's good, man. And I say it on solo episodes. I say it on when I have guests, but I think it's so important that you surround yourself with people that want to see you succeed. Absolutely. I think it's so important you surround yourself with people that want you to win. Yes. That are there to say, hey, button up when you're down. And, and man, we can get so caught up with haters. Mm-hmm. But here's my thing. Haters weren't going to follow you either way. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't want those people in your corner. Right. We're not trying to convert anybody. Right. If you like our content, enjoy it. If you hate us, hate us. Keep going. Don't let it consume you. Yeah. I used to let it consume me. But don't let it consume you. Just do what you think God called you to do and what your purpose is. Yeah. You'll succeed. How do you feel about when did you, and I ask this strictly because I didn't understand or find out my purpose until a few months ago. When I was younger, no one talked about purpose to me, and I never understood what purpose was. Now, someone said, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? Right. But I feel like purpose is different. When did you feel like you understood your purpose and why you were here and what you were called to do? Yeah. Or have you even found it yet? This is a really spiritual answer, but let me give some background before I just tell you bluntly. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and for a long time I let those mistakes cause me to feel like I didn't have a purpose. Yeah. One of the biggest plagues in our whole country is depression and anxiety and worry of all kinds of stuff. But in my life, in barber school, they said, don't talk about politics or religion. This is not religion for me. It is a personal relationship, a supernatural relationship. I don't want to sound crazy, but I believe that the God of the universe is the same God that Jesus was when he came to die for my mistakes. And so I believe, I'm a Christian, and I believe in the Christian faith. Yeah. And so the day I was born, I was given purpose. The day you were born, you were given purpose. And so many people just need to hear that. Yeah. It's not even a basis of, I got to go out and I got to find why I need to be here. Yeah. Man, if you have breath in your lungs, You need to be here. You have a purpose.
Yeah.
And as far as I can see it with the Bible I've read, it's not about hating people for what they do or the mistakes they make or the different lifestyle. It's about loving people. And so if you're loved and you know for a fact you are breathing,
Yeah.
you have a purpose.
Yeah.
And so growing up, my parents were always so encouraging about that. Because as a kid, you know, you feel left out, you feel inadequate.
Yeah.
Man, I've just been taught from a child, you're a king.
That's awesome.
And you have to just be a king. You have to just walk in that all the time. So that's what I try to do.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I now that you say that, I think that's right. Yeah, I think everybody's born with a purpose. It just may take some people longer to maybe understand
absolutely.
that purpose. You know what I mean?
And I still don't.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know when I do.
Yeah.
I tell people this all the time. I'm like, I want to do this when I grow up. They're
Right.
like, dude, you're 24. I'm like, yeah, I'm young, but I never want to stop learning.
Yeah.
I never want to stop. If I become something different in 10 years, I'm glad for what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
If we can learn to be grateful for everything, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
Because me, first and foremost, I have a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry in life. But if I could learn to be grateful, because I believe that grateful, I've heard this a couple times, but it's so true in my life. Gratefulness in your state of mind cannot exist with worry at the same time. And so if you just make sure and tell yourself every morning, hey, I'm grateful for today. I'm alive.
Yeah.
There's some bad things happening, but life's a roller coaster.
Right.
It's going to go back up and back down.
Yeah. Multiple
Be grateful.
times.
Oh, absolutely.
Multiple times.
So I try to be grateful for everything.
Yeah. I always have, like you said, been told, be grateful and just trust the process, because
for sure.
we're throwing curveballs every day.
For sure.
There's
And the world wants answers. This is what I hate about the world. They want to know what you're doing right now and why you're doing it and why you're not making it and what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's none of their business. Just live every day. Live out your purpose every day.
Yeah.
We're not who we want to be
Right.
every day,
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah.
but if we can always get better. I tell people that all the time too. I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Sometimes it throws them off. How you doing, man? I know this just happened in your life.
Yeah.
I say I'm getting better.
Yeah.
It might have been 10 years ago.
Right.
But mindset, man, if we can learn to turn our minds off and be grateful, we could be Navy SEALs.
Positive. Yeah. You could be whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
You said mindset. Mindset's huge. My daughter's going through that right now with her basketball coach. And I've talked about it on here before, but I love the basketball coach because it's more than just skills that he's teaching her. He's giving her podcasts to listen to, and he's teaching her to change her thinking and think positive. And if you think positive, positive results will happen. I'm a huge believer in that.
Oh, the mind is a wild thing.
You can achieve so much if you just put your mind to it. Like,
I've heard so many successful people say, the only thing that made me successful was a change of mindset.
yeah,
Because you can get wore down in your mind.
100%.
You can cause yourself to believe things that aren't there.
Yeah.
You can worry. Most of the things we worry about will never happen.
Mom, you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, moms are
Yeah,
worriers.
my
like that.
God, dude. And she terrorized me as a kid. She would throw me in the closet you're from Kentucky. Tornadoes all the time, and especially near
Get in
where
the
we live.
basement.
Oh,
Yeah.
we didn't have a basement. We lived in Woodburn, Kentucky, and she would throw us in the closet. We had a little weather radio back before the cow alarms were installed, and that weather alarm goes off. It's terrorizing in itself. It's just immediate, loud whoop,
Right.
and Mom's like, "Oh my God, get the kids!" and throwing us in the closet at 7 years old. It's like that is traumatizing.
Right. Oh, yeah. So when you were a kid,
Yeah.
did you have tornado drills at school?
Oh yeah.
Did you have to put your hands over your head and tuck between your legs? I always did it. And my grandpa, I was sitting at his house one day, and he was sitting there smoking a cigarette on the porch. Pineville, Kentucky,
Right.
Walls End, Kentucky. He said, "Noah, you know why you do that, don't you?" I was like, "Probably to protect your head, Papa." He said, "Nope." He said, "You been down there so you can kiss your ass goodbye." It gets closer. That's always what I tell
That's
people.
awesome. I love it. Old people are so funny.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
had this conversation before we even started. Like, someone said, "What to you?" They said that she was looking sick.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. I had a sweet person. I'm not going to say their name because they're a great person.
Yeah.
I just posted a picture that I had from like a photography session.
Right.
Just smiling, just trying to have a good day.
Yeah. You were sitting on
Woman-
steps or something,
Yeah.
weren't you? Yeah.
They messaged me and I was like, "You look really sick. Have you been sick for a while?" I'm like, "Thanks for the encouragement." Yeah, I actually have.
The honesty of old people. But I've heard if we surround ourselves with older people, we learn to slow down.
Oh, for sure.
But if old people didn't hang around younger people, they wouldn't be able to keep up with the times.
This is what I say. Most of the older generation, they have a bag of knowledge. This is the way I try to explain it. Half of the bag is stuff you don't need to hear because you're a human.
Yeah.
You know it already. But if you listen, you'll get a little bit of the truth and a little bit of knowledge and wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom is what I try to search for, even with people that piss me off.
Right.
Because older generation can make us feel like we're doing nothing.
Yeah.
And
or what we're doing is wrong. Like, you need to do it this way, you know?
And I think it's a propaganda too.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard this? Oh, this younger generation, they just don't want to work anymore.
Oh,
well,
all the time.
Well, Grandpa, listen. No, because we can go to Chick-fil-A and make $18 an hour, or we can work our asses off for you and make $10. Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, you need to learn a lesson of what hard work is." Yeah, you do as a child,
right?
But once you're 25, trying to take care of your kids, you can't afford to work your butt off for $10 an hour.
No, I read the other day, rich people don't work, rich people think.
Yeah,
and I thought that was probably the most powerful thing I've ever heard. And I feel like to be successful, you have to constantly think outside the box. You have to constantly be thinking what's next. But then at the same time, you're having to deal with what you're having to deal with now and what you have going on. And then that's where balance comes into place. And it's like, and it never stops, right?
No.
It never stops. You have to constantly be thinking and looking ahead and then understanding the balance on what to do, when to do it.
Right.
It's a lot of work
to
be successful.
The more I grow in following and in the social world, the more I'm around wealthier people. And something I've learned with wealthier people is wealthy people get so much money that they try to figure out how to be normal.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't need for anything. Yeah. And so what I've learned that is crazy about wealthy people is they try to live now like they didn't have money. Yeah. Because they miss just the simple, genuine times of enjoying their family, enjoying being at home. Some of the poorest people in the world are the happiest people in the world. And so I never want to leave that. Yeah. I never want to leave the fact of what's important and having my priorities, being grounded, and your priorities.
Understanding your priorities.
Because you can be the richest person in the world, but if you're not grounded in your priorities, your family, God, you don't have anything.
I can't remember, but Steve Jobs, before he died, he had mentioned something about that. Oh, yeah. Being so wealthy, but not, like, the one regret was, like, he never slowed down. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And it's so hard to do when you're doing something you love.
Yeah. Especially it's not a gender thing, but especially for most men.
Yeah, I mean, it's
because
pride,
it's with
right?
a family. Yeah. Too, you're driven to take care of them. Yeah. I have so many family members, so many friends that are coal miners. Man, they work 7 days a week, 14-hour days. They never see their family, but they do it because they're so focused on, I'm going to take care of my family. Yeah. And that's so noble to me. Right. But at the same time, if you get wealthy to where you can have time off, take the time off, man. Life's so short.
Yeah. Being successful comes with sacrifice. Yeah. We talk about that a lot here. And what I was saying as far as like doing something you love, it's so hard to take a step away if you're in love with what you do. But just because you're in love with what you do doesn't mean my wife's in love with what I do and yours is in love with what you do. So when you do have that family, when you do say, I do, you know, it's more than just yourself in the picture. And especially if you have kids, it's like, you got to think, how do they feel, you know? And but at the end of the day, I'm just like you or your friends that work in the coal mine. At the end of the day, my number one priority is to take care of my family. Yep. I'm going to do whatever I can. And if I have to sleep 3 hours a night to be able to be successful and provide for them, that's it. Right. I'll do it. Right. And they might not understand now, but I'm trying to get my work in now. That way, when it's time to be done and I can kick back in my lazy boy recliner, you know, 50 years from now. Right. They'll understand, you know.
And that's something else, Daniel, is like you and I don't know your family history, but I can tell just by the way our drivetrain is. Yeah. We're setting a new precedent for what our name is, like Lawson and Peters. Yeah. Man, my family has generations of being beat down, generations of abuse, generations of, you know, didn't make it to where they wanted to, generations didn't go to school. Yeah. we're setting a new precedent for our children.
That's
and
good.
I think that's such a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, listen, this is my family. I'm going to take care of them too, like you just said, to show them. They're going to know one day, hey, my dad did this to set a new precedent. This is what our family can do.
And I didn't always think that way.
Right.
I was very selfish and thought of myself, and I was a little shit, you know.
Right.
But when I had my daughter, who's now 2, she'll be 3 in December, it's like I want to show her what to look for in a man. And until, I don't know, it's so weird, something that came over me, and it's every time I talk about it, I get emotional, but like, I don't know what it was, what it is. And I say this all the time when we talk about it, right? Like, whatever that was that came across, I want to show her what a good man is, and I'm far from that now.
Right.
But at least I'm way ahead than I was 5 years ago.
Right.
You know, and I feel like I'm growing every day, and I think that's the whole point of life is growth. You know, growth from birth. It's all about growth. From birth, before you leave the hospital, they weigh you and make sure you're gaining some weight from either your formula or your breast milk. And then after that, it's like every month or every couple months you go and they measure you and they weigh you. They measure you. And still to this day, I'm 33 years old and you're 24.
24.
What do they do at the doctor when you go in? They take your temperature and they what? They weigh you.
Yeah.
They want to make sure you're growing.
Yep.
And that's what life's all about. As long as you're growing in the right direction and you're not going backwards.
Yes. And planting seeds is so important, especially with your children. I have a friend that taught me a huge lesson growing up. He had a daughter. And from the time I knew him to the time, you know, his daughter got older, every time I was around them, he would make sure, he would say, baby, you're beautiful. You're a genius. You're going to be something one day. He told her that so many times that by the time she got to the dating stage, a boy could tell her she was ugly, and she knew they were lying.
Yeah.
Because the dad had set a precedent in his family that, hey, this is who you are. This is the generation I'm going to build up. So she knows she's beautiful.
Putting it
That's
in her
so
subconscious.
important, man. I tell people all the time, watch what you say to your kids. Don't discourage your kids because they are you.
Yeah.
They're going to believe everything you say.
Yeah, especially the person who's providing and taking
so
care.
That's my goal. My little boy now, I have a step baby. His name's Kaiser.
Nice.
He understands what I'm saying, but he can't talk yet.
Right.
But every day, and he does anything, I clap for him. I'm like, man, you're so strong.
Yeah.
You're such a strong boy.
Yeah.
We'll go outside and play, and I'll say, dude, this is awesome. You know, I'll just encourage him because one day he'll get older and he'll know he's awesome.
Yeah.
That helps.
That's
I'm telling
cool,
you, it
man.
helps.
I love it. I love your thinking. I love your mindset. And that's why I wanted to get you on here. And another reason I wanted to get you on here was your social media platform. So let me tell you a little bit about my purpose. So I didn't find that until I was 33, and I'm literally maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I figured out what my purpose was, and it's to foster the growth of other people. Like, I want to see you succeed. I want to see you grow. I want to see you do well, not only for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for you as a person, you know?
Right.
And so I love bringing on people and showing them to our fans, and, you know, and just being a platform to be able to share a growth of community.
Right.
And I think it's super important.
Absolutely.
But what caught my eyes, you do the same thing. You know, back home in your barber chair, you bring on all these very talented singers.
Right.
And so just tell me a little bit about, like, what made you even do that?
Yeah. So I had a man in my life when I was a kid, and he was a doctor. His name was Phillip Lammonds. He passed away now. One of the greatest men I've ever met in my life. And he taught me something when I was a kid that's just stuck with me forever. He was a millionaire. He had a jet, had his own jet, had the nicest cars. He had huge houses, and he gave it all away.
Wow.
When I say he gave it all away, he gave it all away. And he told me when I was a kid, told my family when I was a kid, he said, the happiest I've ever been in my entire life was when I gave everything away. Now, I'm not telling you to go give all your stuff away.
Right.
But if you have a gift, if you have something, I truly believe there's no greater joy in life than to give it away.
Yeah.
And so that's what I try to do in the barbershop. People help me and I help people. It's a networking thing like we're doing right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when people come to the shop, not only does the world get to see it, but it helps my social media.
Right.
I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a full-time artist and tour.
Right.
But if I don't help people on the way, and if I don't give out what I have, it's all in vain, in my opinion. So that's why I do what I do.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I think highly of you because there's not many content creators out there that do that. You know,
No, a lot of people are selfish.
very selfish or just I don't know. They don't want you to overtop them, you know?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, everybody has something unique about their platform, whether you use it to the good or to the bad. Everybody has something unique.
sure.
I mean, that's what gets you the following, right?
For sure.
But for you to be able to kind of just invite others on there and just showcase their talent, showcase, hey, I'm not the only guy who can sing.
Right.
Come listen to little Susie here. She can sing. I find that so cool and so awesome.
And the world's became so contracted. Like people do TV shows, people hire management, things like that to get noticed. There's such a vendetta in our world around being noticed and being valued.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy because you can't let social media turn you into somebody that you're not.
Yeah.
And so what also I try to do at my shop is when they come and I say, hey, this is your world, I'm just living in it. So if this can help you, let's post it.
Yeah.
If it can't and you're worried about your image, let's wait because I want to help people.
Yeah.
And so I love getting to meet people. And man, I really believe that connections are so important these days. And so I might have a 5-year-old boy in my shop singing and nobody think about it. And then 10 years from now, he's signed with RCA across the street.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if I can just be a little end of something big.
Pipeline, you know,
Yeah.
you're a pipeline, and what you're doing.
I'm A&R managing for free. You're welcome.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
What you're doing is building a community of people, and honestly, at the end of the day, they're like-minded, whether they've said that or not. Just for them showing up and doing that, they're like-minded. And what's cool is they probably think so highly of you. So at the end of the day, they're going to be like, when they gain a platform, they're like, hey, I remember when Noah did this for me.
Yeah, and it's created friends.
Yeah.
I've watched this happen this year especially. People will meet each other and they're like, we both sang in Noah's barbershop.
Oh, that's cool.
And they become friends and they start doing music.
That's awesome.
It's
man.
awesome, dude.
I find that too with having people on the show. It's like, you know, just like Nick Hibbett. So we just talking about him. You're like, oh yeah, he's
awesome.
funny. But I love that, and I love that there's still people out there like that. And doing this more and more, I kind of find like it gives me ease of mind a little bit because I think that it's cutthroat world out there, just kind of probably like here in the music scene.
Yep.
But you do have your select artists that want to help. Like, hey, you go talk to this guy. He'll show you the way, you know. And I just, the more I'm in it and I travel and I meet people like you, it just gives me a peace of mind that says, hey, I think we're going to be all right. You know what I mean?
Right. And for me, grace is a big thing. There needs to be a lot more grace in the world. And if you don't know what grace means for the people out there, that's just forgiveness and understanding people are going to mess up.
Yeah.
If I hadn't have been given grace so many times in my life, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing.
Man, no kidding.
And so
That's cool,
it's
man.
important.
Well, I love it, dude. So let's scoot on to the side here. So season 22, American Idol.
Yeah.
How was that,
Man,
dude?
it was freaking insane.
That is the
was
crazy.
insane.
I could never. I don't know if I don't have the to be able to do that in front of people. Like, I love to sing, I love to play, but take me through the process. Like, did you sign up? Did they call you?
Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah, so Idol has open casting calls and closed casting calls. And so I auditioned here in Nashville, and the process, they made the process so easy.
Really?
They pretty much take care of everything for you. Like, you sign up, and then they do all the hard work. So you just show up, and you just sing your butt off. And something that I really took home from Idol is this. If you are on American Idol or you have the chance to be on American Idol, think to yourself about the people around you, because you're in a room. I mean, I think everybody has gifts.
Yeah.
But you're in a room for a very rare, short amount of time with some of the most talented people in the whole world.
Yeah.
And so the relationships and friendships that I gained from being in those rooms, like here in Nashville,
Yeah.
dude, it's insane. I've had so many American Idol people in my barber chair, but the friendships are the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
I mean, but without American Idol, I'd have never been able to do it.
Really?
So they're creating not only a show, but a network of artists that can lean on each other.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
What was like your greatest experience? Like, what was the experience or the process that just stuck out and is going to stick with you for the rest of your career?
One huge experience for me was after I got the golden ticket, they celebrate you so much. And it might have just been me, but it heals so many parts of you because you're like, you know what? I did accomplish something in front of judges that have done music their whole life.
That's awesome.
And so the takeaway for me, that was probably the biggest thing, was like, hey, Noah, you can do this.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe in myself like I should.
Right.
And so the confidence they give you is crazy.
That's good that they do that. I mean, as big of a platform as that is, you know, I would hope they would do that because I would need the confidence boost
they do.
for sure.
They do.
Now, what other show you sung the Lionel Richie song on?
Yeah,
which is great. By
I was
the way.
on I Can See Your Voice with Fox.
Okay, I've never heard of that show.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's pretty well known.
Yeah.
I'd imagine
It's a newer show. I'm on season 3. I was on
nice.
season 3. That community is so cool too.
That's awesome.
Ken Jeong is hilarious.
Oh yeah, dude.
One of the funniest comedians out there. So it was just awesome. They treated you like royalty the entire time you were there.
That's cool.
I mean, from dinners to spending time with you to your clothes.
Wow.
Everybody there was just phenomenal.
Now the idol process of like going through different like stage, like sing here, pass, sing here, pass, sing here, pass, sing here, you get a golden ticket. Like how many things did you have to do?
You have to audition in front of a producer panel.
Wow.
Online before you make it to the live auditions.
Interesting.
And sometimes they tell you right on the spot that you got it, and sometimes they don't.
What did they say to you?
And so they told me on the spot, thankfully.
Oh man, that's cool.
So which was awesome. But what was cool is before they started, producer talked to me and she was like, listen, this is your final, before you get to the live auditions. If you do make it, they might let you know 2 weeks from now, or they might tell you on the spot, but just be ready either way.
Wow.
Don't get discouraged on camera, or don't freak out, you know? So I was ready either way.
I would be freaking out.
And when I say they have just a poker face about them while you're singing, like they don't react. So you think they didn't care at all.
Oh, man.
But the entire time they're talking to each other, I think they're talking to each other like over the internet. And then they were like, we'd like to congratulate you. You're going to audition in front of the judges.
That's cool.
But it was so cool.
That's
It was so
awesome.
fun. Idol was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had.
That's awesome, man. That's good to hear. I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you. What's next for Noah?
There's so much going on in Noah's world. What is next immediately for me is getting some music out. I want to get. I've written a lot of songs this year, and so writing a lot of songs this year, I want to get that out. There's a couple things in the works too about really showing the world what I do, and
that's cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. Well, you got my support.
Thank you.
Anytime you need a little boost or a little, hey, Daniel, call me and give me a little kick in the rear
That's
real
right.
quick. Give me refocus.
Oh, I need it all the time.
Call me.
Need it all the time.
And I do the same thing. There's a guy I call all the time. Just when I never tell him, I'm like, hey, I'm calling you to talk some, sense into me. I'm just calling to catch up. But by the time I get off the phone, he's built me up. Mm-hmm. He has just put some positive energy in me. And dude, every time I get off the phone with this guy, I feel like I could run a marathon with a gorilla on my back.
Oh yeah.
Like do you have that person that you could call?
Yeah, I do. So that guy for me is Michael Farron. He actually works in the building we're sitting in. Michael Farron is not only my yes guy, he's my no guy. And he's the guy that says, hey, you're being an ass. And I need that in my life.
Oh yeah.
And so he has been phenomenal.
I think it's
I don't know
important.
where I'd be without Michael Farron.
I think it's important we have someone to check us when we're doing something we probably shouldn't be doing, or like refocus our thinking. And I think it's great to have someone in your life to help you recognize those wins, even when you may not think it's a win.
You also need people in your life that you can vent to and they not turn around and tell the whole world. Does that make sense?
Oh, God, yeah, dude.
And what's crazy is there's so many people in our world that you think are going to be that for you, and they're not. So really, when you're picking your friend group, when you're picking your circle, it's usually best to keep it pretty small.
I have a gift of reading people. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where it's came from, but Noah, when I tell you I can read somebody,
Oh, yeah.
I know when I see a red flag, and it may not be a red flag to somebody,
Right.
but I got a good sense.
Oh, yeah.
In a matter of 5 minutes. And I have my best friend. There's this guy who we're interfacing. His dad was a professional basketball player, well known. He went to Western Kentucky, played for the Kentucky Colonels back in the day.
Right.
And great guy, I find out. But he's like, I'm gonna call this guy, I get a read on him, you know. And I was like,
Yeah.
I find it out, and it ends up he's a great guy, very, very nice, very humble, and you know, there for you. But I just got a gift of reading people, and I will say, for all of my fans,
Yeah.
I think you're a pretty good dude.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
Likewise.
I think you got a good head on your shoulders. Even at 24, it's rare to see people your age think the way you think. And I think a lot of that comes from just by talking to you. You've been around some old folks before.
I've had some experiences, that's for sure.
And learning from those experiences and then talking to those old people, you know, I feel like has kind of put your head in the right direction.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So,
Being a barber,
really?
man, you learn everything. And you spend more time with the older generation than you do the younger generation because old men just come and hang out in the barbershop. That still happens.
Do they? Do you got checkers there? Is that a myth, or is that?
Dude, I got everything in my shop. I got daggone cornhole in my shop.
I gotta come check it out.
That'd be awesome.
What is your prized possession in your shop? Every barber's got like something cool in there.
I have a straight razor that my grandpa used that I didn't get to meet.
So Barber runs in the family. Runs
So
in
he
the blood.
wasn't a barber.
Oh, really?
That's what was crazy about
Was
it.
he a hitch?
I don't know. He was a shaver for sure. So my dad was adopted.
Okay.
And his biological dad, my grandpa, died never knowing he existed.
Really?
And so I got some things after my dad met his biological family later on in life. We got some things from him, and he had a straight razor, old Barber straight razor.
Yeah.
So that one's pretty.
That's
prized
cool,
to me.
man.
Yeah.
Can you use a straight razor on yourself? I hear it's hard.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
true?
different. It took me a little bit. I'd cut myself a few times because in a mirror you have to do everything backwards. Straight razoring is not about shaving at all. It's about the pressure that you apply to the skin. And so I learned how to straight razor shave with a balloon.
Really?
Yeah, put some shaving cream on a balloon, and if you can shave that balloon without popping it, you can shave people.
I know what I'm doing when I get home.
That's right.
Is it anything like an eyebrow razor? Have you seen an eyebrow, like the little stick?
Almost,
with
yeah. So the state regulations have changed a lot of stuff. Back in the day, I still have the strop on my old,
like
the
little
straight
leather
razor strop
thing?
You can't do that crap no more. Now you have to use disposable blades. So straight razoring is still a thing, but it's not like it was back in the day.
Yeah, my barber, he does a straight razor,
Yeah.
but like you said, he's got an old bourbon bottle, and he puts his used razor blades in there and filling it up.
Yeah,
So it's cool.
My spray bottle looks like Jack Daniels.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think that's a barber thing too.
Yeah.
Like it's always, before I was 21, obviously not, but it's always a barber thing to be like, hey, bring a shot with you. Nobody cares.
So what's cool about my barbershop is he has his liquor license.
Yeah.
So
Heck
he's got a bourbon area.
Bourbon and blades.
Oh yeah. He's got a little bourbon area. He's got like little beers, you can grab.
Yeah.
But just the atmosphere. And I don't know I didn't go to a barber up until, 5 years ago. Like I always went to like Master Cuts or Cost Cut.
Right.
You're a woman's doing it. And no offense, women can cut hair.
Right.
Women have great talent.
I used to have a picture in my barbershop. This is no hate to Great Clips whatsoever. Let me just say that before I say this. But it said, welcome to Great Clips. How can we jack your ass up today? But I don't have that anymore because it's not. People don't love it.
Right.
I love Great Clips.
Yeah.
Great people.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't like Great Clips. Great Clips, more like not so great. But I love, I went to a woman shop, whatever. They do great hair. They colored my hair great.
Oh, yeah.
But there's just something about going to a barber shop with a guy, and just the grunginess,
A little
the
bit of a
hot towel.
testosterone boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. You know, I never thought I would say I enjoy a man rubbing shaving cream on me.
But it's nice, ain't it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's real nice.
Working in small country towns like
Yeah.
I've done my whole life, I used to have a massager
Oh, yeah.
that I would put on men's backs. I cannot tell you how many men have kind of, hey, you know, because it's just not a thing there.
They don't massage me or anything, but they do the hot towel, and you know, when he puts my beard oil in, he does my beard oil for me, which is nice. But it's a good experience. And dude, I don't know about you, but like, I'm ready to go. I could be tired even while
It
sometimes
gives so much
it
energy.
Refreshes you to go to a barbershop.
Yep.
Go to a barbershop, not just any barbershop.
And you hit on something, Daniel. Women, take notes. Men like to be pampered too.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say about that.
I'm an every 2 week kind of guy.
Oh, dude, me too.
I have to be.
I used to be, but now who cuts the barber's hair? That's the famous question.
yeah.
I cut my own.
Do you really? Was that hard to learn?
Hardest thing in the world.
Shoulders? Hard on your shoulders?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like.
Yeah, you're always doing something. You got to do it backwards. They make these things called self-cut systems. There's a mirror in the front and 2 mirrors on the side, so you can look over and see the back of your head.
Oh, nice.
But it's still really hard.
I used to cut my hair. Fun fact. I cut my son's hair still, but
Heck yeah.
Of course, I'm no barber. But I keep them from looking like a wet dog.
Right.
You know?
Heck yeah.
But yeah, like it is hard.
I know
and
you can't tell by my hair today, but
No, your hair looks good.
it's not styled today.
Your hair on TV looks great. Did you do your own hair on TV or just somebody else?
Oh, I did my own.
Yeah. Ain't
Now-
nobody touching my hair but
Now,
me.
on I Can See Your Voice, they
Oh, your hair was.
pomade, makeup,
Yeah.
the whole 9. That was different for me.
I'm going to tell you, your hair on there looked like they took it from Bruno Mars and just put it on Noah.
Thanks, man.
It looked good.
It was wild for sure. They did my hair in one room, and then they golf carted me to the main stage, and I got there, and a woman that was a hairdresser, she was like, "You don't have enough product in your hair," and I was like, "Okay."
You don't have enough?
Yeah, so she really did it.
It looked good.
I look like Pompadour Fred out
Yeah,
there.
but the swag, though. You had some swag.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean, you still got some swag.
I was
but-
about 50 pounds skinnier during
Yeah, I could
during
tell a
the
little
filming
bit.
of that too.
I could tell a little bit. No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying
But
you're big.
Nene Leak said I had big arms.
Oh.
So you couldn't talk to me after that show for
Yeah.
about 2 months because I
Couldn't
was
fit through
I
the
was
doors.
a rager. I was like, nobody can talk to me. I'm massive.
I'm big.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man. So your fiance now, you told me the story of y'all meeting. I think that's super cool. What's next for you guys?
Yeah. Oh Lord. So she's building her social media right
Yeah.
now. So that's in the works. My fiance, her name's Krista. She is a daggone comedian.
Yeah.
She's hilarious. She is half black and funny and country
I love it.
and redneck.
She's
So,
very country.
yeah. But we're in love and she's so supportive. And so what's next for us? We're going to get married at some point.
That's cool.
But I know where we're getting married at. I can leak that.
Where's that?
We're going to get married at the daggone Bristol Motor Speedway.
Now that's some redneck shit.
Come on. Come on.
Like, what made you do that?
So I sang the national anthem at Bristol.
I do
But
remember
before
seeing that.
I was talking to some of the PR management there, and I was like, how redneck would it be to get married there? And they were like, let's do it.
Has it ever happened before? Have they ever had someone do that?
I don't know.
I've never heard of it.
Have you ever heard of Justin Danger Nunley?
Yes.
So he is one of my closest friends.
I've seen him on there.
He is a big Bristol. So
I've messaged him as well.
Yeah.
Justin.
He don't answer. Let me tell you something about Justin Nunley. He don't answer his phone.
Justin.
Answer Daniel's message. Or he might just not like you, but here's something cool.
He might not.
Here's something cool about Justin Nunley. Not only is he one of the coolest people in the world, but he's so transparent about everything.
That's good. It's good to have people like that.
I love that about him too. Nunley is another friend that I have that will call me and be like, hey, dude, you're messing up.
Yeah.
Or, hey, dude, this is what you need to do.
Yeah, that's cool.
But we'll make that happen for
Yeah,
sure.
that's
We'll
cool.
make that
He
happen.
seems like a really good dude, really funny guy.
I don't know where I was going. Oh, Bristol.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justin is
Here
like,
comes the bride.
he's the daggone face of Bristol.
That's okay. So
Yeah.
yeah,
He's the one that made everything happen.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yes, I seen you sung the national anthem, and you're singing the national anthem. Are you allowed to say about this?
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I wish I was. But I can say I'm going. Did they
he's
say that?
going. Yeah.
Yeah. May 4th, you're going to catch me at the Kentucky Derby.
Hey.
There'll be all kinds of events going on.
I've never been there, and I live not far from there at all.
Me either.
I've had a dinner there one time, but I've never went to like what you do, watch the races.
Right.
You know, I've never done that.
Can I plug my shirt?
Yeah.
I'm going to the Kentucky Derby, Daniel, with Vineyard Vines.
That's awesome.
I'm
And
so
who is Vineyard
excited.
Vines?
So Vineyard Vines is a clothing company. Two brothers started it, Ian Murray and Shep Murray.
Nice.
Those guys are freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And they are just the most encouraging people to me, and they didn't have to be.
Right.
I had reached out to Ian. This was probably like 4 or 5 months ago. Ian messages me back and he's like, "Send me your address, dude. I got you." I'm a poor kid. I've never been able to afford Vineyard Vines.
Right.
But they have some of the nicest clothes I've ever worn.
Comfy.
And they send me clothes, and we're friends. And
That's
I can't
cool.
wait to meet them officially at the Kentucky Derby.
Awesome.
So,
I'm a large.
That's right. That's right.
I'm a large. That's cool, man. Isn't it cool meeting people and
It is.
just
It's crazy.
Conversating? And
You learn that the world is a lot less evil as you think it is.
Yeah, it gives you a little peace. Yeah,
We see the news and things like that, and we think, man, world's just gone to
Yeah.
hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
There's so many good people out there, man.
there is, and that's why I love doing what I do, and that's why I love getting out, traveling, meeting people like Noah, meeting people like we've had on the past podcast, and it's a peaceful thing to understand. Like I said, we gonna be all right.
Yeah.
What are y'all gonna dance to? One of your songs?
Yes.
That's cool.
I can say this on air. So I have written a song for Krista.
Has she heard it?
She's not heard it.
Mm.
She's not gonna hear it till the
Till the
wedding.
day.
Yep.
That's awesome, dude.
So I'm pretty excited about that. But she don't know that. She will after this podcast.
Yeah.
But she
Well, now
don't
you know.
Yeah.
Kristen, right?
Krista.
Krista.
Carrie
Now you know.
LeMay Endicott.
And I heard you can box.
She is mean. I wouldn't fight her. That's not the one I would fight first.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from her. I'll just
Yeah.
say hi from afar. Hey, how you doing?
And you don't expect it because here's what you hear behind you. Like if you're running from her, you hear, "I'm gonna catch you," and you're like, "There's no way that's her."
Right.
You look back and here comes our redneck ass. Right
Oh, I
there.
know. I heard her talk, and what was the big thing she did? It was she was singing.
Yeah. So this is literally how this happened. When we first videoed it, it was not planned.
That's so funny.
Krista loves country music, but I am obsessed with like Toby Keith and Coulter Wall and people like that. Krista gets tired of me listening to them, and I was like, "Babe, we need to do a Toby Keith Willie Nelson song."
Yeah.
And because she loves Willie Nelson, and she was like, "Noah, nobody. It's 2024. Nobody's gonna listen to that." I was like,
that's
"Let's
a
just
throwback.
record it." She was frustrated at me,
Yeah.
and then my brother looked at her that was videoing. He was like, "Do the Willie part, do the Willie part," and she was like, "Grandbaby, don't want that." And it literally people know her just for that.
That's
now.
so funny.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. Yeah, I saw the video you guys did where it was like the cop pulled up.
Yes.
And he was like, "Hey, are you that?" And
Yeah.
you're like, "Hey, like,
That
what about
cop-
me?"
That cop was Officer Daniels.
Oh, was
you
it?
know Officer
Yeah,
Daniels?
yeah, that's
He's
cool.
the man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love him.
Well, man, I appreciate you so much for coming on the show.
Dude, thanks for
It was
having me.
so good to meet you. Like I said on the way here, I'd love to make a long-term friendship out of this.
Thank you.
You have my full support. Y'all go check out Noah's stuff. He's up and coming, already almost there, country artist. I'm gonna call you a country artist 'cause that's
Hey.
what you
Yeah.
are. What you say you are. This man's a country artist. He's a singer-songwriter. You need to go check his stuff out. Go check his barbershop out.
Come on.
He may not be there full time right now, but when he's open,
It's what I tell people. If you get on my nerves long enough, you will get cut.
I'd say so. Well, guys, thank you again for tuning in to another show of Late Night with the Lawsons. It's so weird to say that because we just did this whole rebrand, but this is season 2 of Late Night Laughs with the Lawsons. Listen, you get the same laughs, the same person, just a different scenery, and a different name. It's all the same, just a different name.
Bingo.
And I'm so glad to start off season 2 with a bang with you, man.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see where you go, or should I say, I'm excited to see where you grow. And I'm looking forward to seeing Noah Peters on the charts. So
Thanks,
I'm
man.
rooting for you, dude. I
Love you,
appreciate you.
dude.
And y'all enjoy the rest of your day. I know this
Heck
comes
yeah.
out in the morning. I know the name's contradicting itself, but hey, Hopefully you got a good laugh out of it. Thanks for coming on,
For sure, man.
and we'll see you next time.